You don't know how much that pisses me off. I mean, for real. Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Fenderman, and well, if you remember, probably around about a month ago last year, I said I had some special things going on with my F-250. This is it. So I already put a lift kit underneath of it. I've got a lot of these plates all painted up, and I wanted to work on it a little bit more, but I wanted to bring you guys with me because I thought about it a little bit and I was going, okay, so I got some of the work done here and there, and I should have filmed some of it to see how it went together. And I think you guys coming along with me for the experience in the project. See, I have a lot more knowledge with 6.9s and such, but I don't know. I'm not really a mechanic per se, but I'm mechanically inclined. So why not work on this and then show you guys how I do it? Because it's unfortunate. I got this thing back looking worse than this. Here's the picture. And when I got it back, the guy that I sent it out to, I guess, really didn't want to work on it, and he just took the motor out, did some of the axle work, and then put the motor in and just kind of went, eh. So I don't know what it is about people that you try to hire, but I guess I just keep meeting the wrong people. So I'm gonna do it myself. I'm tired of. Here's kind of a life lesson. If you want anything done right, gotta do it yourself, especially here in Washington for whatever reason. I don't know, some people have better luck than I do, but as far as I'm concerned, I think this is going to be a little bit more fun, and besides that, I get to make videos and hang out with you guys. So, check this out. First, I'm going to start off today, I'm going to paint the manifold. I already have the exhaust manifold, I already have it pulled out, and I have some prototyping going on since the turbo doesn't want to fit up with the heater core and stuff, so we're going to work on that a little bit today. We're going to put the heater core back. I'm going to try to put the turbo on, wrap the little prototype extension, basically extension that I've got for the turbo, to relocate it and see how that's all going to fit up, and hopefully have enough of this done today so that next weekend we can get it fired up and running. So it's about noon, and I already ran to the store and went and bought the paint, so let's go ahead and start painting that. Okay, so here's the manifold. It got a little bit of rust on it from it being wet because of the stuff on there, but when you get this sandblasted, it immediately turns everything into rust prone, like within 5 minutes of having water on it. So the trunk isn't leaking hardly anymore. It's just the rain from this other stuff kind of dripping off. Well, maybe it is. That light's leaking. Anyway, let's pull this out. So this is what I was talking about with the surface rust, right? So I have here just like, it just dripped a little bit, and then you have this part, you got this over here, but I wanted to try something. I wanted to see if this stuff, I found this in the garage as a really old bottle of rust remover. I wanted to see if it'd work on some of this surface rust. So maybe it will, maybe it won't. So I'm gonna try doing this with one hand here. Let's just kind of empty a little bit out of here. Oh, it's like a jelly. Huh. Weird consistency. It's like, I don't know if it's supposed to be like that because this bottle's really old. But let's see what it does. Oh, no fooling, look at that. It's pulling that rust right off. Would you look at that? Cool. Gets that surface rust right off of there. Okay. So let's use a little bit more. Just pour like that. God, it's so weird. So weird how this weird jelly stuff just makes rust go away. Alright, so let's just do this real fast. Oh, but it smells gross. Man, it smells like rotten eggs. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know if you're supposed to breathe this stuff or not, but my God, does it stink. Oh, it smells like you never... Yeah, this is really a rotten egg smell. That is some stinky stuff. but it's working fantastically. You can't argue with those results, right? This clean strip rust remover works awesome. I mean, look at that, cool. Works great. It just smells like rotten eggs, man. It smells like when you get those Easter eggs, right? I don't know if you guys were a little kid and you painted Easter eggs or something. It smells like that vinegary, rotten egg, kind of boiled egg smell. It's just gross. Maybe that's what it has in it. Maybe it has vinegar. I don't know. Okay, so there's the sort of finished product. I don't know. It kind of leaves this weird residue on it. I don't know if that's going to make it affect. It doesn't come off on the finger though. So I don't know if that's going to affect how this stuff I bought. VHD, very high temperature, very in italics. So I don't know. We're going to see if this stuff works. Once we get it all fired up and running and see how many miles it lasts. Man, everything's harder to do with one hand. Let's do a little bit of refueling while we're at it. Now, I am not sponsored by Monster at all. I bought this myself, so don't worry about that. No plugs and no plugs intended. No unnecessary advertising or anything like that. I'm just trying different flavors and stuff. I usually drink Red Bull though. Anyway, so now I'm gonna look down in here and try to get the fuel pump and everything all set up. And I have little racks and stuff set up in here to keep the dust out. So I have this set up and I need to figure out what's going on with the throttle cable. Because the throttle cable, if you look, let me take you guys off of here. Because it's the throttle cable, if you look, there we go, focused, doesn't really sit in there all that well. I tried to get this in, and I need to install this guy, which is a throttle positioning sensor, and I don't know if I really want to have it sitting on anything like this, or if I want to have it like mounted up here anywhere. So I need to think about doing this either soon, because I'm gonna have the transmission in at some point, but back here is where I really need to work and get to. Back all the way in here, and luckily there's enough light for you guys to see. So down over here is where the fuel pump is gonna sit, so I need to put that fuel pump in there. But other than that, you know, this project is going pretty straightforward, I would say. So I'm gonna take a little drink and drink and get started. Okay, so before I go too far into that little project there, I wanted to show you guys real quick how I got all these bolts and stuff back. Okay, this is what I have to deal with. That is how you get back. That's how you get back your. You don't know how much that pisses me off. I mean, for real, it wouldn't take much. Here's a quick lesson for you. If you decide you're going to take apart parts to a vehicle, grab a Ziploc bag that has a little label on the side of it and mark what that goes to each time. You don't want to end up with this because of laziness and incompetence on somebody else's part. Just don't even do it. Don't even do it. If you look around, I don't know, maybe you can go into a mechanic. If you talk to a mechanic, shake his hand, talk to him, ask him how he takes apart a motor. If he just takes all the bolts and does that, leave. Go run far away, get back into your vehicle and go find somebody else that knows what they're doing. I'm mad right now. I'm trying not to be, but this is what I've been dealing with. This is why this has become such a long project, because of that lazy piece of crap. Now, I'm not I want to probably leave that part out of the video, maybe not, but if you have somebody doing that, don't even bother with them. Oh, man. This actually turned out better than I expected. All right, it looks pretty good to me. So we're gonna go ahead and put this on the motor. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I meant by this being a prototype. Okay? I just saw something. This is where the turbo. I've been having nothing but issues with this thing here. So the turbo is going to go on here, and it just immediately bangs into that. So I just almost made this for nothing. You know, I just hate getting defeated by stuff like this. You know, this is all welded up. Figured it was going to work. Not going to work. No way. Let me show you why. See how that's bumping? Maybe you guys can't see it, but here. Let me take you off of there. This won't fit because it's glued too close to that. And this is where it rubs. Not against this. This was all nicely spray painted, but that is not going to work. So this is going to burn the piss out of that. Terrific. Again, I deal with this issue of this thing not wanting to work, so I got to figure out where to go from here. Okay, so not all hope is lost just yet. I figured out that the motor was actually sitting on these motor mounts. This is not really bolted in. It's been sitting on the motor mounts like there we go, like this, right? So I've got a jack and a piece of wood to push it up and level it up a little bit, and it seems to be helping. Now I don't know if that's going to help when the transmission goes in, but it gives me just the slightest amount of room over here. I'll show you guys here. Check this out. So it gives me the slightest amount of room right here, which is where it was having an issue before, right? So I can actually, once this is all up and said and done, the exhaust will sit out and come down a ways, but I think with a sharp enough downpipe we can make that work. Now here's the tricky part, right? You know these will heat up, so it'll burn this up, excuse me. So it'll burn this up potentially. So I can find and make a heat shield, because I'm sort of a fabricator of sorts. Doesn't really say well from my prototype earlier, but that's why it's called a prototype, is because it's not perfect the first time. Anyway, so right in here I can make a piece of aluminum that'll come out and then heat wrap it, make it stick, so this won't burn this up. And I think we can get it to work and just fudge it. I think we can fudge it just a little bit. So what I'm gonna have to do, since these guys aren't even bolted in, and really, you know what, now that I think about it, this is like an 800-pound motor, and I shouldn't be sticking my fingers in pitch points. So after we get this all said and done and taken care of, I think once I get this bolted up and this bolted up, because I don't even have this secure just yet, once we get that bolted up, I think it'll be okay. Don't quote me on that, but I think it will be. So let's get started on that. You know what kind of scares me a little bit is the fact that I tightened these down on these exhaust gaskets a couple of times. So I'm wondering if they're going to be any good. You know, as far as I know, with crush gaskets, it's never good practice to reef on and pinch the crush gasket, to crush the crush gasket and then try to reinstall it. But it didn't heat up, and you know what, I've gotten lucky before, and I think I'm gonna get lucky again. I'd rather find out, you know, and maybe it'll take some miles off of it, maybe it won't, but you know, I don't think this is gonna be a super hard job to do once the motor's all put together with this. The reason I'm lucky right now is because the fenders, none of this stuff is in here, so I can sit really close right in here, right? So I think we can get away with it even when the motor is installed. So with any luck, I think this is all gonna work out, but I still need to order my downpipe and get that squared away. So this is pretty much tucked, which gives us the smallest bit of room. I don't think, even with motor shake, I don't think it'll have too much effect. These are pretty solid, so I don't think we will have that much of an issue, but we'll find out. Funny. Check it out. So I have this bolt and this bolt tight. So now we have at least, no, not really even a finger's worth in there. But I think if we jack the motor up just a tad bit more, we'll get more room. Actually, I'm curious. So now that my fingers are out of the way, let's jack this up just a little bit. Ooh, that's getting scary. Okay. Stay. Shoop. Now I can stick my finger in there. Not too much before I end up breaking it, and then we'll have a real problem. But now the motor's kind of sitting this way. Like I said, I don't know if that's going to affect the transmission, and I believe it might. Just no winning, is there? Well, here's the other issue I've got too. Now it's yanking it off of there. I wonder what the other side looks like. Yeah, a lot the same. I don't know. I think if we lowered it just a tad bit, should be okay. Okay, so I did about as much as I could do today, and you know, it may not have seemed like much, but you know, it's progress. Progress is good. I tried to put the turbo on, and in doing so, I'm kind of having questions on the location of the turbo still. And I don't think there's really any way that I'm going to get around that without getting either a new manifold or a new turbo and having to run it the opposite direction. So basically turn it upside down. So I think, I mean, look at this. I have space right here. That's what I mean by it getting dark. So I have space in there, and I don't think you're supposed to have space where the motor mounts are. So it seems like it's kind of equal. How much space is here is how much space is going to be there. Even on this side, same deal. See, it's getting dark, so it's getting hard for it to focus. Now, I do have lights, but I have other things I have to do today, so I think it's going to be a long ride, but I mean, it's like I said, it's progress. So anyway, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching. Give a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing here. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if there's a workaround. If you guys have any ideas, I'd be open and love to hear them. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye now.